Hi, friends, and welcome to the Dr. Green Mom Unfiltered podcast. This is your host, Dr. Ashley Mayer. I feel so honored to have this opportunity to support you and your family on your parenthood journey. Just a note before we begin, if you enjoy this podcast and would like to support my work, please consider subscribing at drgreenmomvip.com. Subscribers have access to my full-length episodes, my very lengthy library of parent-focused resources, including my treatment protocols, access to my parent support group, and exclusive product discounts. As always, I appreciate your support. And now let's begin. Hello and welcome to my Dr. Green Mom Unfiltered podcast, y'all. This is the second episode that we've done, and I'm so stoked about this. But today's guest, she was actually the catalyst to get these podcasts going, and she is one of the most amazing women that I've known as a physician. I actually knew her in medical school. We went to school in Canada together, and she is the newest full-time doctor here at Dr. Green Mom. So I want to introduce you to Dr. Lydia.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure being a part of the Dr. Green Mom team. I really love our community and the parents that we serve. It's awesome.
So quick to note, I think it was, you were hired by Dr. Green Mom, and then did you know you were pregnant before you got hired, or was it like right after?
I got pregnant that month. Life was like, you're going to learn about babies right now.
Oh my goodness. So yes, Dr. Lydia this is her first. And so she is now deep diving into all things Dr. Green Mom because girl, you have to now.
I so have to. Yes, I feel for all of our mamas.
Oh my goodness.
Learning new things for sure.
So we are working on courses, many of them, and Dr. Lydia is working on these for us. And so today we wanted to talk detox. So she created a vaccine detox course. Her and I did this, and it will be going live here soon. In the meantime, we have lots to talk about today, Dr. Lydia. With detox. So specifically, what do we do for our kids? Like, do we detox our kids? Do we not? What the heck is even detox? It's such a buzzword on social media that parents are so confused. We get so many questions in customer service. I have so many products for detox that probably are confusing to parents. And so let's help parents figure this out. And at the back half of this podcast, Dr. Lydia and I are going to talk about all things vaccine detox. So stay in the loop with us. Keep up here, and we're going to get there. So, Dr. Lydia, tell me about detox. Like, what is this? What does it even mean? What does detox even mean?
Yeah, I love this topic, and I want all of our parents to know that we are really listening to you. So this podcast was in response to Facebook questions, private membership questions. I think we get questions coming through our customer service. So we are here to provide practical tips for you. So that's kind of the whole premise of our podcast in general, but this topic for sure. So when we're talking about detox, we're looking at identifying substances that the body does not need to use. We're looking at neutralizing them if they are toxic or if they could damage cells. And we're looking at eliminating these substances. So this could include environmental toxins, just metabolic waste from the day-to-day processes of your cells just doing their thing, or hormones, for example. Like we package those up and we get rid of those as well. So that's what detox is sort of a general sphere. And the body is always detoxing. So we don't necessarily need to be pumping ourselves with full of things in order to make detox happen. It is happening, but we can definitely facilitate the process, make it a little bit easier. And we are going to have kiddos that have some maybe differences or variances in the way that they detox, and they may need extra support. So that's why Dr. Green Mom has an amazing line of products.
So, like, in a nutshell, this podcast could be over. Like, you just really put everything so eloquently on exactly what detox is. Like you said, our bodies are completely doing it naturally all the time for the most part, unless we have, methylation issues or constipation. And we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Mhm.
But I think our environment, like, has become so toxic over time, and not necessarily our environment, but the products that are being allowed to be manufactured and the loose regulations around manufacturing. And I think social media has done a really great job of helping parents to see, oh my gosh, we are bombarded every day with what our bodies typically were not made to be bombarded with. And so, with things like BPA, we talk about bisphenol A, like in the papers. And so, like the receipts that you get at the grocery store, oh my gosh, do I touch them? There's BPA, BPS, phthalates, we've got parabens, microplastics, heavy metals. I mean, there's just so much that our systems are now being bombarded with. And so, let's chat about what do we do? What are the things that we can do? Oh, flame retardants. I just ordered a car seat for my kiddo. He's 5 and he gets to be like in the big kid,
Oh,
car seat.
yeah.
And it was so cool because car seats on the market today, as opposed to 12 years ago with my now 13-year-old daughter, flame retardant free car seats. Like, how cool is that? That there are companies who are jumping on this toxin free health advisory for parents so they can make better choices. So, yeah, Lydia, tell me about pesticides and herbicides. What's going on with like our foods and all the sprays?
There's so many sprays.
Right?
I'm just so happy to hear that companies are listening to parents, because I bet companies would not be motivated to make flame retardant car seats if there weren't a band of pissed off mamas who are like, I've had it up to here with my kid being bombarded with these toxins. But yeah, we could definitely talk about food. Was it difficult to find that car seat? Like, did you have to hunt for it, or was it like,
So I'm going to plug them.
okay, let's hear it.
It was not difficult because I know who they are. So it's Kleck. It's the Kleck company. I think it's like CLEK. I make no money off of this, guys, by the way. I just simply love their products. I had found that car seat for my son when he was little. And so now they have the booster option. And so I went with them. But they have a completely flame retardant free. They use the wool that's not been, oh my gosh, what do they do to lambs on their butts? When they shave, they shave the skin off their butts. Anyways, this company Kleck uses the non-shaving wool. It's abusive to animals. So
Oh, wow. On top of it all, we're hurting animals too.
they let you know that they're using a wool. My goodness, I don't know the name of it, but anyway, it's humane wool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I love the company.
You have so many tips, so many good detox tips, Rez. So when it comes to pesticides and herbicides, I think it's really tough for parents because a lot of us are working on a budget, and sometimes organic fruits and vegetables can really add up, and you're not sure, is this really helpful for my family? Like, am I just spending $15 on these bananas for no reason? Like, what is really going on here? So do you use the environmental working groups, Dirty Dozen and Clean 15? Like, is that...
I love them. I love them. There have been some naysayers out there lately because, organizations, to fund an organization, they take in, financial donations. And so I still love the environmental working group. I don't believe they have many biases. Look, we all have biases when it comes to financials, but for the most part, they are fantastic. Like, I love what they have to say. And I love that you have this in the show notes with regards to the environmental working group.
Mm-hmm.
What I tell parents, and I know we're getting a little off track, but what I tell parents about pesticides and herbicides is do your best. Like, literally do your best, because even organics are allowed to have a list of pesticides. So just wash them as well as you can. If you're using vinegar or baking soda and water is so lovely. Pretty much cleans your whole house if you want it to. So they're everywhere. Pesticides are everywhere. And I think talking about how we can help to excrete them from the body is going to be really important here in a little bit with all of the things that we talk about.
Yeah, for sure, because we're not going to be able to completely eliminate these things from our universe. And I really feel for people in America specifically, because I feel like the industry is not set up for healthy kids and parents. It's set up for profits and just like selling as much as we
Profits over people.
yes. So it's a bit of an uphill battle for parents. I think when we're looking at fruits and veggies, you're looking at fruits that are easily bruised and easily damaged or easily moldy that tend to have the most sprays. So we're looking at peaches and nectarines and strawberries. Strawberries are actually number one on the list. So if you're going to buy organic, look for our berries, I think are quite important to get organic if we can. Green beans happen to be on the list. That was not intuitive to me. I had no idea that green beans they're number 12. Maybe they just made it on the list. So good, congratulations to them, but I don't know.
Can't green beans grow anywhere, like in anything? Don't they like take over? Like when you're planting them. My husband has a story. When he was a little kid, his family came from Lithuania during the war, and they lived in inner city Chicago, and his mom had this little tiny patch of land. I mean, super tiny. It was like, a couple feet by a couple feet when I say a patch of land. And green beans. And he grew up on green beans. And he's like, oh my gosh, all I ate was green beans. He's like, I'd walk outside and I would try to stomp that patch so I wouldn't have to have any green beans. So needless to say, you can grow green beans without pesticides, because I know his mom did.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I don't know why we take a good thing and just run it into the ground with chemicals. Humans just seem to be doing that.
You know why? It's because the chemical companies own most of our world seed. That's why. It's because DuPont and Dow and Syngenta, those companies are chemical companies, and they own most of the world's seed. And when I say seed, it's the things, yes, you plant in the ground to make food. That's why. Is that not incredible? I saw a graphic once that showed the world's seed and the different chemical companies, and that's who owns like all of our seed. Anyway, that's super terrifying. And I grew up in Ohio, in Mansfield, Ohio, and cornfields after cornfields after cornfields. And if you drive by them now, it has a little sign, right on the side of the road with which chemical company owns that plot of land. And it's Syngenta is when we drive by it. So my little town in Mansfield, Ohio, chemicals. So again, like detox our kids. It is so important to continually detox our kids because we are bombarded. It's in your backyard. It's coming over. It's off spraying over from the field a few miles away from you. And so, yes, detoxing is so important to answer any parent's question. Like, do I detox my kids? And let's lead into, Dr. Lydia posted this in our show notes, that in a 2021 study by the Environmental Working Group, an average umbilical cord blood sample from newborns contained over 200 industrial chemicals.
Yeah.
These are babes not even been born yet. This is just simply what mom's taking in, not because she knows it. It's just our everyday existence, what's coming in to babes prior to even birth. And we wonder, oh my gosh, what about, autism rates? We just saw a recent, autism is in the news right now. We're talking about autism. We're talking about chronic disease. We're talking about eczema and allergies. And why is it there's such an uprise? It's like, this is such a no-brainer. This is such a no-brainer as to why diseases are on the rise. Chronic disease in children is on the rise. I find it fascinating.
Yeah, and it's not like these chemicals evolved slowly over time, over thousands of years. It's like within the last probably 50, well, maybe since the 1950s or so.
1940s and 50s, Agent Orange and Monsanto. Yep.
So yeah, it's hard for little bodies to keep up. And little bodies also tend to have a higher fat content. We love our chubby little babes, but it's easy to store not so great things in our fat tissue. So it's more difficult for our kids to eliminate these things. They may tend to store these toxins. So I think anything we can do to be helpful for them is great. Why not?
Yeah, so let's chat real quick. Signs that your kids need to detox. I want to say this real quick. It's not just about detoxing, it's about limiting these toxins around you to begin with. And that's the best way to detox, honest to goodness, is just to remove as many toxins from the environment as possible. Not even talking about what do I do to my kid to remove toxins already inside them. Let's very first step is to make sure that we are not putting like toxins inside them that maybe we don't even know about. And so that's like a question people ask me, Dr. Mara, what do you do in your own household? Like, what do you do? And I'll tell you that 10 years ago, I couldn't afford so many of these products that are now, listed as vegan and earth friendly and environmentally friendly and USDA organic. I was a single mom and I couldn't afford these. And so guess what we did? We made it at home.
Oh,
Every one of my lotions for my kid, all of our salves, I made those at home. All of our soaps, I made those. And then I made a batch and we had it for a year. So that's how I initially started. When I graduated medical school and I had my daughter was when I really started getting really interested in what am I feeding my kid and labels and what am I putting on my kid's skin? Because our skin is our largest organ of detoxification. It's also the largest organ of probably retoxification. So whatever you're putting on their skin, you have to be very cognizant of. So I started with, making my own lotions and, shea butter based products, coconut oil based products. And that's what I started with. And y'all, I'm a 70-30 mama. So 70% I am lean and mean. I do USDA organic for the Dirty Dozen. I don't for most products. So, my bananas, avocados, anything with a thick skin have always been regular and conventional. But I do 70-30. So, if my daughter wants this great chapstick that everybody's buying, I know it's not so great, but that's part of her 30%. So 70% as non-toxic as possible, and 30% if she wants that perfume. Or my husband, my goodness, I don't even want to tell you what deodorant he uses as antiperspirant. But we all have our things, right?
sure.
I have mine. I'm not going to talk about them, but anyway, those are the things I do, and I want you to be relaxed about this. I don't want you to stress about, oh my gosh, what do I get rid of first? Get rid of the lotions first. Like, get rid of the toxic lotions and stuff that you're putting on your kid and yourself. And then maybe switch out your dish detergent next. And, look for some clean ones. Boy, there's some really great social media platforms out there who are doing some really great swaps. And then swap out your dish detergent and maybe your laundry detergent as well. And maybe just do that for a while. It's a slow process. It's not something that you have to swap out, all of a sudden. You got to get rid of all your Teflon pans and you got to switch out all of this. Don't do that right away. So what are some buzzwords that we can look for if we're trying to remove toxins from our family's environment, Dr. Lydia?
Yeah, I think the big ones are probably the BPAs, the phthalates, and the PVCs. Probably if you just start there, and the BPAs really are kind of in our plastic families. I don't know if any of our moms are still microwaving in plastic containers, like that sort of stuff. We can move easily to, there's a ton of glass containers and different stainless steel. You're not going to microwave in stainless steel, but there's different stainless steel containers are going to set our microwave on fire. That's not a good idea. That is toxic, shall we say. And certainly the phthalates, people it's actually not that difficult to make your own skincare products. Like for me, I do a double boiler. I put some water to boil in a pot. I put another bowl on top. I put in some coconut oil. I put in some shea butter. I don't measure anything. It all melts down to a liquid, and then I put it in the fridge and it solidifies and you have a cream. So this doesn't have to be where you're mixing your cauldron full of you don't have to be as...
I love that you used a double boiler because I just took a stainless steel. I use, what's that? It begins with a C. It's a stainless steel company for my pots and pans. And I just put the shea butter right in there on low
And does it
heat.
work? That works
Yes,
too?
you just
That
heat it
works
up and
too.
you add an essential oil, and that's
Yes,
it.
that's
You put
it.
it in one of those molds, you know, those candy molds. I did
Yeah.
it for my kid.
Oh, so cute.
You make lotion bars.
Oh, lotion bars and you rub it on.
Yes.
So cute.
And it looked cute for her. It looked store bought. She was excited. So it's super simple. I'm glad that you gave that example of how easy it is actually to make some of these swaps.
Yeah, I think sometimes these companies want you to think it's like really difficult to make these things so that they can, but you can do at home things, especially if it doesn't need to be medicated. Like some of our products are really geared towards, you have some real skin stuff going on, but like you can make this stuff. Most of our mamas are totally capable of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll when my son actually was born, I just started looking into toys for him.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the toys that you purchase for your kid, like those are so incredibly riddled with BPA, phthalates, etc. And so I went on a mission. So I'm glad that you put this in our notes, Dr. Lydia. I went on a mission to find natural rubber for like pacifiers. Natural rubber was what I was looking for. And then wooden toys. Like it was so much fun to go back to looking for like products from nature. That's how I felt. Like my kid is living in line with nature when I was looking for wooden toys. And so one thing that I do want to say about the wooden toys though is make sure that you're not getting them lacquered from China.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
so it's completely going to defeat the purpose. So make sure you know where these wooden toys are coming from, because you know what? China and overseas, like they're seeing what we're buying. They're watching what we're buying and then they try to mimic it. So they're brilliant, right? So just make sure that you know where like the rubber is coming from, and make sure you know where like the wooden toys are coming from.
Yeah, it's such a nice way to support your friends. Like if you're invited to a baby shower or you're buying Christmas gifts for your niece or something like that, like it's nice to get toys that aren't going to toxify
And
their
stuffed
little bods.
animals, like the organic Under the Nile.
Oh,
I've loved them for years. I'm going to plug that company. I make nothing off of it, but I love that company, Under the Nile. They are very sustainable and they do beautiful work.
oh, I wonder if you could find some good stuff on Etsy. I always wonder if like there's artisans that are making some natural I'll have to check Etsy.
They are.
Yeah, Etsy might be another good source.
There was a company that I fell in love with who made the wooden toys that you can chew on for littles. And I'm trying for the heck of me to remember their name. I have it posted on social media, but they're on Etsy. And I found a lot on Etsy. But you know what I find a hard time with Etsy is now it's larger companies who are going in, and it's hard to discern who is making these toys, like if you're actually hand making these or if it's, a company coming in saying, oh, these are all handmade. So I'm really struggling with Etsy these days. But yes, you can find really great stuff on Etsy. Let's chat fabric.
Yes. So we're looking for GOTS certified, which stands for Global Organic Textile Standards. So if you see that little certification, you're looking at there's no formaldehydes, there's no flame retardants. They've been tested for gnarly dyes and heavy metals. And they also have fair labor practices. A lot of us are also becoming more conscious.
Yeah.
We don't want to toxify, developing nations as well and have them subjected to chemicals. Because if you think about our child, consume, like imagine working in that environment, it's really terrible. So the GOTS certified are something you can keep your eyes peeled for.
And what about, did you look into that OECOTEC, the certification?
Tell me about that.
A lot of clothing companies are now organic certified, that OECOTEC. So if you see that on there, that's a much better brand, or not brand, but that's a much better product to purchase. Target's carrying them. Target has some really great stuff that they're carrying. I even think Walmart is now carrying brands that are OECOTEC certified. Another, while we're talking about fabrics, is your kids' pajamas. Cotton pajamas, 100% cotton pajamas. The polyesters are the ones that hold the flame retardants. So they're purposely sprayed onto your child's pajamas as a flame retardant. So when you're looking at child's pajamas, that's a big one. So always, always do your best to try to find that GOTS, the Oecotech. I think I might be saying it wrong, but I think that's what it is. Oecotech or organic, like find something certified organic, because I don't even want to get into this, but cotton is so highly sprayed with pesticides as well. And so that's a way to limit your exposure to these pesticides, is these GOTS certified, these certifications, or the Oecotech.
I love that you bring up PJs, because I don't think a lot of parents realize that one of your major detox organs, you alluded to it or mentioned it, is the skin. So every time your child sweats or goes and plays outside and runs around and gets sweaty, they are detoxifying their bodies. And as we sleep, we naturally will have a little bit of sweat. And so we want to be wearing cotton pajamas also because they breathe. Like, I don't feel like polyester pajamas breathe in the same way. So we can also promote a good detox there.
Oh, absolutely. I love that you posted some reputable brands for toys. I love Haba, like love, love, love them. So Plan Toys, I've not heard of them, as a reputable company. These, keep in mind, anything that I'm recommending, I have no affiliation with. I have to say that over and over again. Green Toys, we have some of theirs. I think they do recycled plastic, don't they? Like, I love that company. And Grimm's. So those are some really great toy brands if you guys want to take a look at. And, oh, I want to chat this. You have heavily scented toys.
Sometimes you can just smell the chemicals coming off of them. Have you ever picked up like a plastic baby doll and sort of given it a sniff and you're like, this just smells like it's got chemicals off gassing?
The purple guy, Toy Story, came out with a selection of toys years ago from Toy Story, I think 3. And oh my goodness, the purple guy reeked. I can't remember his name, but he smelled like grapes probably, or strawberries. And my daughter had to have that toy, that was on her Christmas wish list that year. So again, 70-30.
70-30, yeah.
She got the stinky, smelly toy and probably the lip smackers chapstick.
She put on her chapstick and held her toy, snuggled it.
Oh my goodness, yes.
This is parenting. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, so you're right. Keep in mind of the scents in the toys, and they do that a lot now. It's great. It's one of those core memory associations, because I remember that stupid purple bear. Like, I remember the smell of it. Okay, so let's go back real quick. So signs that your child needs to detox. So let's just chat. Let's talk about the detox organs real quick.
Oh yeah, let's go through that. That's really important for parents to know, because this is how you know your child's detoxing all the time, because you've got multiple pathways of your child identifying, picking up the stuff, and then getting it out of the body. And then we can also look at these different pathways and just make sure our child is not compromised at any of these different areas. So do you want me to go through the...
Yeah, so we can just chat about the different ones. And then I want to get into like signs that the kiddos need to detox.
Okay. Most parents, I think, understand the liver has a strong function of detoxing. Now, when the liver packages up these little toxins, it'll go through the gallbladder and into the bowels. So that's your second organ of elimination, is the bowels. So we'll discuss our constipated kids, because they will have more struggles in this regard. We have our water-soluble toxins coming out through the kidneys. We want to make sure our kids are well hydrated and they're peeing regularly, and their pee is kind of a pale yellow to clear consistency. We mentioned skin, and the other organ of elimination is your lungs. So there are chemicals that can be almost like off-gassed or turned into volatile compounds, and you will breathe them out. So that's why it's amazing every time we get our kid outside running around, getting sweaty, breathing deeply, getting their energy out so they don't drive us insane, like those types of things. They are detoxing during that process.
Absolutely. So we've got the lungs, the liver, the skin, the kidneys, and the bowels. Like our entire body is a detox machine, and our lymphatic system.
Oh, lymphatics too.
The lymphatics are huge. So your kiddos are doing this all of the time naturally. We just sometimes need to give them a little bit of a push, because your metabolic processes and your respiration and all of these detox mechanisms are happening all of the time. It's just that sometimes they need a little push. And so what may be like an indication, and we have a few indications that kiddo or mom or dad or someone in the family may need to detox. So I'll kick it off. We've been talking about chronic exposure to pesticides, plastics, mold, air pollution, heavy metals. I'll give you an example. My son was having a really, really hard time breathing at night when he was sleeping. And I ruled out everything. This was when he was an infant. I mean, I literally ruled out everything. We went to the allergist, immunologist. I had all of these tests run on him. I did a food allergy panel, like everything, just to try to figure out like what is going on with him at night when he's sleeping. I'll be daggone, the wall that shared where his bed was in the bathroom underneath the sink riddled with mold. It was like process of elimination to find this, right?
Yeah.
And so if you know that your child has, or you or your family have been around mold, or that is a huge indication. And some of us are saying, well, how do we know that we're around all of these things? Well, do you live in an urban area? Do you live in a rural area? Are you going to be around more sprays and pesticides? You know, you've already eliminated them from your child's diet as much as possible. So like what's your environment that you're living in? So, you know, look around your house. Like, is there mold? Do you have heavy air pollution? I live here in Cave Creek and we get air quality reports all the time. It's like, how do we have air quality reports? So if these are any indications, if any of these are around you, so I'll say it again, pesticides, well, plastics, microplastics are always around us, mold, air pollution, and heavy metals. Your kid needs to detox. And so those are the environmental toxins. Now, some of the other toxins are things like antibiotics, rounds of medications. Like what are they taking? Are they on a medication regularly? Yes, then your child will need to detox. It's not necessarily the medication, it's the ingredients that are in the medication as well. And poor diet. So kids tend to be picky.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but my kids, they tend to be picky. And so those are some more. Those are on top of the environmental, concerns. Here is now, what are you putting into your body? And then I'm going to let you handle the next one, Dr. Lydia.
Yeah. So we definitely have parents who are testing their kids for MTHFR defects. So these are methylation defects, and kids come by it honestly. Like you pick it up, either you'll have one gene from one parent or you'll have two genes coming from both parents. And so a lot of our parents are concerned. Does this mean that my kid's going to be riddled with toxins? Are they going to have difficulty processing folate, things of that nature? So we'll probably have an episode actually on methylation. That may be something that we talk about in future. But so methylation is a process. It's a very fundamental process. It's basically your body will take a toxin, attach a methyl group to it, and this allows it to be eliminated. So this is the factory system that's happening in your liver. So when this process is a little bit maybe slower to happen, there's things we can do. We can provide methyl factors to these kids, which is super easy. I think our essential immune support product, the powdered product, has methylfolate in it. So this doesn't have to be rocket science for parents. But if we're concerned that our child is exhibiting a lot of signs of toxicity, maybe their skin is kind of gnarly, their mood is up and down, maybe they've got some random aches and pains or inflammation happening, you can get them tested for methylation defects. It's not really that hard to do. So this might be important too. And especially if there's things that kind of run in families, like sometimes I'll see it where like a family just has a lot of history of, say, depression or anxiety. I think it's helpful for, maybe that whole family line to be tested, and you can test your kiddo as well. But then if there is an issue with methylation, we can correct it with methyl factors.
Yeah, keep in mind, it's like 50% of the population or more has MTHFR of some sort. And so it's not like you have a disability. It's not like it's not a disability.
No.
And parents look at it that way. I mean, it's talked about so often in such little context, especially on social media. Parents have no idea. So keep in mind, I have an MTHFR SNP, and My kiddos do. Most people do. It's just a matter of how much less you're methylating than without it. So I know a homozygous, I think I'm going to botch this. C71.
C677T.
There you go.
Yeah.
They'll have, up to a 70% reduced methylation. If it's a heterozygous on the other, it's, much, much smaller, less than 30% or less. And so just keep in mind, we just need to up regulate those methylation pathways. And sometimes when you do that, you don't need to do anything else. Sometimes if you can just give your kids some folate, vitamin B vitamins, folate, it will help to jumpstart their detox pathways and they may not have to take anything else. And so it's a really great first step is to test this methylation pathway. And I'm not affiliated, but some parents are saying to me, hey, I can't, my pediatrician won't run this blood test. They won't do it for me. And so what do? It's a simple cheek swab. I believe it's MTHFRdoctors.com. And it's super quick. And you can get your MTHFR and COMT as well. And then you'll know. And you don't have to go through your doctor if they're not going to help you. But it is one of those tools in your toolbox that will be super helpful if your child does have this. And it's a super simple fix.
Yeah.
Is B vitamins and folate. Yeah. So I love that you said, let's do a whole podcast on this. Like I would love to. We could talk for 3 hours on methylation.
I know. And I think it's the problem that it got labeled a defect because no parent feels good when somebody's like, there's something defective with my child. Like, oh no, oh hell no. Don't say that about my kid. My kid, defective? Oh no. So I usually use the word variance, maybe a difference. Like there's, our words matter.
And I'll say in my vaccine strategy guide, it's one of the number one questions that parents ask is methylation and MTHFR. I mean, it's just such a word that's been thrown around. So it is a good first step to get your kiddo tested for sure.
Yes. Yes.
And
it doesn't mean they're defective. They're not. They're okay.
Hell no. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then if they're showing any signs, and I don't know if parents would even know what oxidative stress looks like if they're showing signs. Dr. Lydia, do you want to mention what oxidative stress might look like?
Do you think we should get into physical signs? Because this is what parents are going to recognize.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's do that.
Physical signs that your child may need a detox. So we're certainly looking at skin stuff, rashes, psoriasis, maybe if you have a preteen and their acne is just getting out of control. Sometimes we know the smell of our child. So, we if they smell kind of different, that can be a thing. Where our kids that struggle with constipation, bloating, IBS, which is like constipation, diarrhea, back and forth, or their poop just smells, nobody's poop smells amazing, but sometimes it's just like, whoa, my kid's poo smells really gnarly. That can definitely be a sign. Maybe that they're not even digesting well. That could be another thing. If our kid is just really run down, they're sick all the time, they don't seem to beat their colds and flus very well. They may have swollen lymph nodes. You can feel kind of like hard, sort of mobile nodes kind of in this area or along here, sometimes in the groin or inguinal area. Lots of congestion and sinus problems. And then we have so many kids, like there just seems to be a lot that are struggling with mental health stuff. Just irritability. It's really hard for them to focus. They're not sleeping well. And you're just at your wit's end. Like, I don't know what's going on with my kiddo. That can definitely be a sign that their detox mechanisms are backed up, including mood and energy. Kids with highs and lows in their mood. That can really be something. And say unexplained food sensitivities. They could eat bananas and avocados and all of a sudden they're having histamine reactions to those foods. I would say those are kind of the top ones.
Which pretty much is every kid.
It's 100% of kids.
100% of kids probably have something going on where they probably need to detox. Here's the reality. I've noticed, even for me, I'll go a week where we're doing fast food and we're ordering in, and like it'll be an entire week where I just look over and recognize my family's like barely eating well all week. So parents, I'm doing the same thing. And then I'll say, all right, the next week, we're detoxing. But you know what that looks like? They all get gigantic plates of vegetables with every meal because they all need to upregulate that digestive system. So they need to get pooping again.
Maybe fiber.
I'll notice a couple days will go by and my son has not had a bowel movement. And it's like, all right, bud, we're doing vegetables. That's what you're getting. Fruits and vegetables the next couple days. So that's a simple detox, right? Kid is constipated. We need to push that detox pathway. I didn't need to give him any herbs. I didn't need to give him any medicines. I just had to give him fruits and vegetables and make him poop. Now that's one less thing off this detox chart of all of the different reasons why I have to detox my kid.
Yeah, if you're a parent and you're on a tight budget and you look at our supplements and you're like, this is not something I can afford, you give your kids some berries and maybe some flax seeds or some sort of fiber source, and you get them running outside and you get them drinking water and you get them sleeping in their cotton pajamas, and you're helping them detox. So this doesn't have to be a super expensive, complicated process.
I think at the end of the day, it's not rocket science, guys. It's doing less. It's limiting the sources of environmental and toxins to begin with, I think is at the end of the day. That's where it is. And so I have over the years made it more simple for parents to help push these pathways for their kids. And so I thought we'd talk about them. We can talk about Poo Motion first.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is so helpful for kids. Yes. That's one of our greatest detox products is called Poo Motion. And that's to help your kids get pooping again. I mean, that is honest to goodness. If you do one thing, if they're not pooping, let's get them pooping. It's a probiotic and my Poo Motion. It's two of my favorite products, especially for infants. Parents are like, but that's not for detox. That's for their GI and microbiome. It's like, no, it's all
completely detox.
They all symbiotically play together to help us detox.
It's interesting what stresses parents out. I've noticed in our parent groups, constipation, like when their child stops pooping, parents are like, not okay. They're like, how do I make this happen? So I'm so happy that you came up with a solution for that.
Oh my gosh. Do you know how you feel after you haven't pooped in 2 days? The older I get, the worse it gets. Oh my gosh, for you being pregnant. Oh, mama, I'm so sorry.
It was awful. It was awful. I know. Prune juice. I was a 90-year-old woman drinking prune juice smoothies. It was
oh my goodness, I love it. We'll have to post a prune juice smoothie on social.
I know. We give them to popsicles. We'll give them to our kids.
That's brilliant. Prune juice popsicles? That's a detox. So parents ask this question regularly because we have many products available for detox. And so parents say, well, I don't even know which one to use and I don't know how to use them. So I do want to give a rundown on some of those products, and then we're going to get into the vaccine talk here momentarily. But Detox Junior I had so many parents when I came out with VaxClear. So it was my first detox product. It was for vaccines. And I had so many parents asking, can I give this to my kid if they've not had vaccines? It's like, absolutely, you can give it to your kid if they haven't had vaccines. I'll say it's quite potent. So the milligram amount is quite high. And so it is a very strong detox. And so I got to thinking, parents are using this off-label for kiddos. They're using VaxClear as just a regular daily detox for their kids. And so I wanted to come out with something that's a bit more gentle, especially for our wee infants, that you can use daily on a regular basis for this purpose. Now, the herbs that I always include in my detoxes, I always want to make sure it's the liver herbs, kidney herbs, and GI herbs. I mean, those are so important that we're moving all three. Okay. So I always want to make sure that you're not just trying to detox one organ at a time. So if you take a look at my products, if you looked up some of these herbs, you'll recognize that they are for different, organ systems. And I do that for a reason, because again, I want it to be a very symbiotic relationship between the different organ systems and detox. So Detox Junior, it's safe for kiddos who are 10 pounds and more. Daily detox. Parents ask, well, how often do you do this? You can give it to them every day if you'd like. I typically, with my kiddos, I'll do a spring and a fall, and then I'll do a right after Christmas. So I'll do a bottle or two for each of my kids 3 times a year, pretty much. And then my daughter, she struggles with eczema. And so she gets a daily dose quite regularly. So as soon as she has a flare, parents, as soon as you see any type of flare, you can start them on a detox. And Detox Junior is super gentle, and it's highly, highly effective. The second one that I decided to come out with, because parents were asking, you have VaxClear for kids. What do I do for myself? I have to get vaccines. I have to go get the flu shot. I have to get the Tdap shot because my sibling just had a baby and I can't be around the baby without the Tdap shot. So what do I do? Or I'm a pregnant mama and I have to get the Tdap shot. What can I do? So we created a product called Methylation. It is safe in pregnancy and lactation if you need to use it. I don't recommend detoxing in pregnancy or when you're breastfeeding unless you need to. But Methylation is gentle yet very effective for adults. So that was another product that we decided to come out with because adults were buying like 6 bottles of VaxClear and dosing it for an adult dose, and it's like, all right, we gotta come out with something for adults so that they'll be able to detox effectively as well without having to break the bank, right? Dr. Teresa, she's another full-time doctor on staff. She came out, she formulated Detox Greens. It is so amazing. I'll tell you why I wanted to do this specific product. Girl, I was so high in aluminum.
Oh.
Like, I was off the charts. My blood labs came back so high in aluminum. Guess what it was from?
Water bottles? Like metal water bottles?
It is the aluminum cans. I was drinking cans of soda water.
Oh, the bubbly, the sparkling water.
Yes.
Oh, I was so addicted to those too.
And so I was downing copious amounts of VaxClear initially. And then Dr. Teresa and I were laughing. And so Methylation along with Detox Greens was what I used. I removed the aluminum cans. I bought a Arc glass bottle soda water maker. I only do that now. And I started on Methylation and Detox Greens, and my aluminum is now like so low, thank goodness. I'm sure it went hand in hand. I'm sure it went removing the cans and then doing a detox. So it can be as simple as that.
Wow.
But Detox Greens, I do every single day. I take them every single day. My kids call them their green water.
Oh, nice.
We do it every day. It's just a staple in our house. And then, you know, they're getting something green too. So I feel, you know, a little bit like a gold star parent when they're getting anything green.
Take our wins.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried those yet, Dr. Lydia? Girl, have you even placed an order yet?
Yes, my order's here. Yes, I'm on our probiotic. Yes. Ship it to Canada works, people. If you're Canadian, listen to this. It's fine. We ship to Canada. It was no problem. Customer service is great. So, yes, I'm not biased at all. Products are amazing. Yes, I'm on our products. So, yes.
Oh, I love it. So everyone in the company, they just order products when they want. And so I love to get the feedback from all of them. Let's chat liquid chlorophyll. So do you want to chat about chlorophyll and its benefits, Dr. Lydia?
Yeah, so chlorophyll is the green pigment in plants, and it really is an antioxidant more than anything else, which means, so when our body is processing and doing its thing, it creates free radicals or kind of oxidized products. And so an antioxidant will neutralize those gnarly chemicals that can they just wreak havoc in your system. So chlorophyll, I don't know, if you're looking for a stronger detox, you may opt for the Detox Greens. But if you just want sort of everyday antioxidant support, you add it to your water bottle, you add it to your kid's water bottle, I think liquid chlorophyll is great.
And it's green. So you think that you're getting something into your kids. You get a gold star parent for the day. And so we have, and a lot of parents are talking about binders, right?
Yeah.
So have you heard the buzzword binders? I don't know what doctor started talking about it, but It is gigantic on social media. And now all parents, whenever anybody mentions a detox, another parent is always going to chime in the comments, like, don't forget your binder.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to chat about binders and our toxin binder?
Sure. So not to be confused with the school supplies, the 3-ring binders. Not that our kids
Oh,
use
yeah,
those anymore.
that's right.
That's not what we're talking about. Yeah. We're talking about things that basically have a chemical charge that will attach and attract these toxins and pick them up and eliminate them from our system. So one product that we have is our activated charcoal. It's made from coconut shells, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, organic coconut shells.
It's always organic. You know, we're looking out for you. And a glass bottle, more gold stars just showering down on us. We love that. And I just did a document on travel care. So that's coming out in our VIP membership. That's going to be a protocol. And this is one thing that I recommended parents have when they're traveling. So if your child has some diarrhea situations happening, there's some not so good digestive stuff, we can take the activated charcoal internally just for a couple of days. It's not so, please don't take this as an ongoing thing. We don't want to be, because you can bind good things too. So you only want to take this really when there's some not so great stuff happening. Your body does not absorb these binders. Well, not the activated charcoal at least. So it's mainly acting on the gut. So if you're looking to pick up, say, some bad bacteria or some toxins that, you know, you just had a bad salad or something like that, the toxin binder will help you eliminate those.
And I think the take-home message that I want all parents to understand is to use binders typically under the care of a physician if it's longer than 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's going to bind the good stuff. So all the minerals and all the vitamins that your child is supposed to absorb to continue to grow well, binders don't discriminate. So if you think that you're doing a 1-month detox and you're taking a binder every day, that is a big no-no unless you're under the direction of a physician. I can't impress upon this enough that binders take everything. So they may take the heavy metals that are circulating, but they're also going to take your zinc and your molybdenum and your copper and all of the vital minerals that that are necessary for you to survive, really.
Yeah.
As an adult, like if you're taking it for extended periods, maybe okay. But for kiddos, they're continually growing and bone remodeling. So they cannot miss out on these very, very important nutrients. And then I guess that leads into this last bit. Dr. Lydia, parents are so wanting to understand vaccine detox. This is such an important topic. And the other product that, it was my flagship product, VaxClear. I want to tell you all real quick how that product came to be.
Yeah.
My daughter was born, my goodness, it was such a traumatic birth with my child. It was reasons out of our control. And she came out pretty much in hives. I mean, this kid from day one was riddled with hives, and her Th2 dominant part of her immune system was just raging, and it continued to rage. And so my husband at the time, he and I decided we weren't going to vaccinate. Like, absolutely not, because the whole point of a vaccine is to initiate a Th2 dominant response. And if our kid is already in this like god awful Th2 dominant response, I mean, she had hives and eczema, and it was a nightmare. And her head was just full of, she scratched her head so hard as an infant, and blood like in her sheets. It was an awful time. And so fast forward to almost age 2, my husband at the time, he and I, we were going through a divorce, and it was a nasty, gnarly one. And he knew my Achilles heel. My Achilles heel was our kiddo. That was the stronghold that was attempted to be utilized. And so he demanded vaccines for our kid.
Oh, wow.
So my daughter, right around age 2, he demanded the full schedule while we were going through the divorce. And so I knew if this went in front of a judge, if I said absolutely not to vaccines and he said absolutely yes, I knew that I had a 50-50 chance of losing medical custody of my kid. And, you know, I don't know that I've ever talked about this. And so I put a plan together. I put a vaccine plan together, and I was like, we're going to do this, kid. Like, we are going to make sure that I keep this safe for you. And I am going to, come hell or high water, make sure that you and I both come out being okay. And I put a schedule together that the judge signed off on, the vaccine schedule for my kid. And I researched like you would not believe the amount of research I put into supporting every pathway of hers through the entire vaccination process. And people think that VaxClear is such a great detox product. It's actually everything that you do leading up to vaccine day, and going and supporting your child's immune system and neurological system while they go through the process, not necessarily just detoxing after, right? So as we just talked about this, it's like removing the environmental concerns, and you're already going to be detoxing your kid better. So this is supporting your kid through the process, and they're already going to detox better just by supports. So vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, probiotics, these nutrients are all actually studied for vaccine efficacy. And so I put this plan together for her. And y'all, I went to work in my kitchen with herbs. And that's how I formulated VaxClear. That was for my daughter. I formulated VaxClear for my kid. And I decided to bring it to market. And so I have such strong emotions around this product and such strong conviction, because my daughter went through the vaccine process and she's A-okay, man. Like, she's doing better than ever. I am so head over heels. I advocate for supporting our children's neurological system and immune system through the vaccine process. And I am a devout follower of that VaxClear product that doctor formulated.
What an amazing story. I know you actually have the schedule that you originally made when you were going through that court battle, shall we say, in our VIP membership community, so parents can actually see what you did back in the day to create a schedule for your daughter.
Yeah. And so I received so many messages from parents who are going through the same thing. And it's like, buckle up, man, put your big girl panties on, because if it goes to court, you absolutely do not know what that judge believes. Like, is that judge a pro-vax? Are they an anti-vax? Are they in the middle? Are they all about parents' rights, or what are they about? And so I wasn't willing to risk it. And 13 years ago was at a time when all of the Andrew Wakefield stuff was coming out. It was just, there was so much going on with the hostile nature of vaccines that I didn't risk it. And so, yeah, that's how VaxClear came about. So I will say it is very potent. So if you look at the milligram amount on the VaxClear, it's much higher than Detox Junior. And I did that for a reason. It's because going through vaccines, we need to detox quite a bit stronger, right? Dr. Lydia and I were just talking about this before we started recording, the different ingredients of concern in vaccines. And it's not about the antigen. It's not about the antigen in the vaccine. It's about the other side ingredients that are in the vaccine that are most notable to potentially cause, chaos or a side effect to the vaccines. And I just did a reel on social media about the polio vaccine ingredients, and it was wild. Parents didn't know this. So formaldehyde is one of the ingredients in many of our vaccines, specifically in polio, just because polio is an example I just gave. And what are some of the other ingredients, Dr. Lydia, that are in vaccines that we should be aware of? And you and I we'll just go back and forth.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to thank you for sharing that VaxClear story. I think it's so helpful for parents to know that it's not like we're just, Dr. Mayer did not just throw these products together. Like, this was like dire situations. It's not because naturopathic kids are perfectly healthy all the time and we just have the easiest kids in the world and we never have any issues. Like, our products are made to be in the trenches with our kids as they struggle with all the things.
Yes. And they all have a meaning behind them. There's a reason why every single one of these get formulated. And it's typically case history of patients over the years. And what are parents really needing, and what's actually effective? Like what have we used in clinical practice for years that's actually effective? So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Well, I'll talk quickly. The number one concern right now as another ingredient is heavy metals in our vaccines. So thimerosal was removed from pretty much any vaccine minus, I want to say it's like the flu combo. It's like the flu multi-dose vial.
And that was mercury.
Yeah, thimerosal was mercury. Yep. That's been removed. And I think, thank goodness, I think it was parent involvement. Thimerosal was removed because there was such a pushback on mercury in vaccines, and it got removed. So thank you, parents. I do believe that was the push that ended up getting mercury removed from most vaccines. Aluminum. Aluminum is an adjuvant in a vaccine. And when I say adjuvant, it's put in there to actually make the immune system see the antigen. So we typically add a weakened or dead bacteria, and we need to get the immune system to still see it. And so that's why aluminum is added to vaccines. It's to elicit an immune response. That's the whole point of aluminum. So parents are saying, why don't we just take it out? Well, then the vaccine's not going to work. And we've not done any research that I know of to change the vaccine in any way, shape, or form. I mean, aluminum was put in the 1940s in vaccines, and it's just maintained. So we know that aluminum is a neurotoxin, and we're finding it having crossed the blood-brain barrier, and especially those with Alzheimer's. It's a neurotoxin, and we are injecting into our children, I don't know the numbers, it's so much higher than the threshold that is an allowable limit for aluminum in an infant when we add up these shots. And so heavy metals are another ingredient of concern. The polio reel I explained, and Dr. Lydia and I were just talking about this, there are monkey kidney cells and fetal bovine cow serum. So there are cells and blood products from other species inside the vaccines that we are supposed to inject our 2-month-old. Do you want to speak on that?
Well, I think we were talking about this previously, and I just don't know what the body is even supposed to do with that information. It's just not natural to have other species of cells inside our bodies. So what does the immune system even do with that information?
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous, or would be nervous, to do a blood transfusion of someone else's blood, let alone another species, a cow or a monkey. Now, I know why this exists. It's because we do need a protein to grow the antigen. And so that, and we'll also talk about fetal cell lines. So these are cell lines of aborted babes, aborted fetal cell lines that are in many of these vaccines as well. And that's the protein that the antigen can grow on. And now that I've said protein, egg proteins. So we're, growing these antigens as well on egg proteins and then injecting them. So now we're taking a food product.
This is why I know you're such a big advocate for informed consent, because who the heck knows this stuff? I didn't know any of this stuff. I'm a healthcare provider.
Right. And I think that it's eye-opening when someone just takes a look at the ingredients in these vaccines. And so we do know that, and antibiotics as well. Antibiotics are ingredients in vaccines, egg proteins, human fetal cell lines, other animal products, heavy metals, formaldehyde, phenoxyethanol. I mean, the list goes on. So that's what we're actually trying to eliminate, causing any type of short-term or long-term reaction. We want to eliminate those. And that's why I think that VaxClear product was so important to me to make sure and get out to the public.
You also brought up a good point in that it's eliminating after the fact is great, but prepare your child ahead of time. Do a couple weeks. getting those organs of elimination working, making sure they're pooping properly and they're sweating and their liver is primed to manage these and their immune system's not in an inflamed state. So I thought that was a really important point, to get prepped before you vaccinate.
Yeah, I mean, we as a society are inflamed. So think about your child, and you want to think about if we want the vaccine to work effectively, we want to make sure we have all micronutrients on board so their immune system can elicit a proper response. And so the researched nutrients that I found, and they also make as an example, the polio vaccine and the flu shot, these micronutrients have been very well researched to increase the effectiveness of the vaccine, to increase titer efficacy. There's certain probiotic strains to increase titer efficacy for these vaccines. And so, lo and behold, I have these strains in my infant probiotic powder. Yeah, and I find it so important, even if you're not a supplement kind of person, even if you're not someone who takes supplements, I highly recommend it so much throughout the vaccine process because it helps to set your child up to detox. So taking in these nutrients, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, fish oil, so omega-3, and a probiotic are crucial during the vaccine process. And Dr. Lydia just finished doing an entire vaccine detox course with me. And she has the most beautiful food lists and recipes to ready your child for the vaccine process, because food is medicine too, right?
Absolutely. And I'm going to say, parents, I didn't come up with weird, wacky recipes from obscure things you're going to have to order in from the Far East or something. It's chicken noodle soups. It's sheet pan meals you can make at home, one pot things, because, we're all pressed for time. But if you go through the vaccine detox course, you will feel, my goal is to have you feel good at doing the course and feeling like, okay, I'm already doing lots of good things. I'm just going to double down on these things. I also like the point that you brought up about improving the vaccine effectiveness in terms of, if we're going to be vaccinating, let's get the most out of it that we possibly can and have the immune system react in the optimal fashion. That just makes so much sense to me.
Yes, because I'm so hopeful that if you don't live in a mandated state, so if you don't have to vaccinate exactly that many doses according to the CDC, parents utilizing their pediatrician to run titer tests.
Right. Tell them about that.
So if the first dose or 2 or 3 of that vaccine are so effective and your titers are so high that you don't have to do any more doses in the series because your child is already immunized, let's do that.
Yes.
Less doses in a series. So these nutrients are so vital to maximize your child's response to these vaccines. And then, by doing these anti-inflammatories and these micronutrients that are really supporting the immune system, we're also opening up all of our routes of elimination. So detoxification. So even if you don't take VaxClear, you're already opening up all of these routes of detoxification. So I'm so excited about this vaccine detox course. And Dr. Lydia did such a deep dive because she doesn't just give you purees. She did baby-led weaning options because we have different sets of parents, not different sets of parents, but different camps. So parents are in different camps now. So she really did a complete overhaul on these options for parents. And so, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so excited about that course. Now it gets me excited. I have to finish recording those last 2 parts.
Oh, it's going to be great. And I love that we have our products bundled too, because I think it's overwhelming for parents you're standing in Target, you're looking at the shelf of supplements, and where do you even start? There's 18 different probiotics, 40 different fish oils, 100 different vitamin Ds. You guys, so it's out of control, particularly in the US. You guys just have a lot of products. So this is all bundled up, guys. It's a no-brainer. You can just go in, get our neuroimmune bundle. It's going to get mailed to your house and you're off to the races. Like you don't have to overthink this.
And then Dr. Lydia's detox course is showing exactly how to use it.
Yeah, your foods. We're going to do our castor oil rubs on the tummies. We got our Epsom salt baths. And these are all going to be things that you use after the fact. Like all of these, the recipes, that castor oil rubs on the tummy is just a nice thing to do. And you may already be doing a lot of these things too. And then you're just going to feel you're going to get your gold stars.
Yeah. So again, detox doesn't have to be hard. So I guess the takeaway from all of this is to start simple and just remove some of the toxins around your home or in your environment that maybe you didn't even think to be toxic, like Tide laundry detergent.
Or your grape smelling toy. Smells like grapes and cherries.
Yes, it's got to go. Dishwasher tabs you're eating off your plateware. That has got to go. You have got to find a better option. So you don't necessarily have to invest in taking detox products. You can simply detox by, removing some of the things around you, like washing your vegetables. I have such a hard time doing that. I don't know why. I feel like I get them from the store. They should have already been washed.
I know. Shout out to all the moms that pre-wash their veggies and fruits. Okay, you guys are the real heroes. It's like you have your life together.
When you're adding all the water to the sink in the kitchen, and you're what? That's like a whole nother step. Y'all are like so above and beyond.
Those parents are amazing.
Part of my 30% is I don't necessarily always get to wash so well my fruits and vegetables. Oh, anything else, Dr. Lydia?
Just one last question, because we get this one a lot in our parent group. My child was vaccinated months ago. Do I need to do a vaccine detox? What do you recommend for those parents?
Well, hopefully not. I tell parents that, hey, like I vaccinated a year ago, I vaccinated several months ago. Is VaxClear going to be helpful for my kid? And I'll say absolutely yes, it's going to be helpful. Probably not just because of vaccines, though. VaxClear is just a super potent detox that is going to be helpful to detox your child in all ways. So, everyday toxicity that we've talked about throughout this hour, that's why it's going to be helpful for you, not necessarily, the vaccines, because the reality is that vaccine that was given, either you've methylated and you've removed the toxins already. Like that vaccine's, those ingredients aren't circulating in your blood system anymore. They're not circulating in the tissues. And so is it going to be effective like for that vaccine round that you did several months ago? Probably not. But is it good for a daily detox? Absolutely yes. And if you don't want it to be so strong, because your kid, like is your kid sensitive or not, then you can stick with that Detox Junior. That would probably be a much better bet. And you can do a daily, detox that way. But keep in mind, VaxClear is a lot more potent than our Detox Junior.
Good stuff. This is really helpful. I feel like I learned today. Hopefully our parents did too.
I feel like I learn every day, Dr. Lydia, especially with you. Like you've got like the greatest show notes. Like, oh, thank goodness.
We've got, it's really fun working for this company. We're in a constant state of learning. Sometimes it's humbling, and other times we're like, okay, I've got this. I'm learning new things alongside with our parents.
You know what I find humbling? I find the tech humbling. The tech part of everything, of like running these companies is it's the tech part. It's the technology part of trying to figure things out. Like I've got this stuff up in my head, or you can research it, or God forbid, you can ask ChatGPT these days, or elicit, and you can get your information. But trying to put it all together, like, I don't know, figuring out the microphone and the headphones that you use.
It's a work in progress.
Talk about detox. Now we've got all these EMF and stuff all over.
All the radiation right now. Yeah. All the Bluetooth waves right through the brain. Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Lydia, this was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on today. Y'all, Dr. Lydia is going to be a permanent fixture here in Dr. Green Mom. You're going to start seeing her more often in the parent support group.
Yeah. Lots of good chats in there.
Yeah. She'll be doing videos in our courses, and she'll be popping up on social videos as well here in the near future. So, everybody, I would like to take my hat off to Dr. Lydia.
Right back at you.
Yay!
Thank you. Love our parents, love our community, and you've done a fantastic job at building up. Thousands of parents are tuned in to the Dr. Green Mom World. It's really incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, without further ado, you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
That's all for today's episode, but I have so much more to talk about. So join me and my staff of like-minded physicians at drgreenmomvip.com. We are here to support you on your parenthood journey. As a member, you'll receive access to my very lengthy library of parent-focused resources, including my treatment protocols, access to my private parent support group, and exclusive product discounts. As always, I appreciate your support in making these conversations possible. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.